Hey everyone, okay, so I apologise that I haven't uploaded my part 2 video. It's simply because I've been testing out different editing software. This video is going to be my part 2 to my story. So in my part 1 I kind of ended the video saying how my nan was diagnosed with lung cancer on the 25th. I said a little bit about what happened that evening, that me and my cousin were talking about what if it is cancer, and then obviously we found out. I'm going to start this video how I found out, but this was kind of the same with my cousin because we were both there. My cousin had dropped me, at her house, and because she had to go to work and my auntie was at work. When she got home, we then went to pick up my auntie, and this was the point when we were talking about what if it is cancer, how are we going to feel. I kind of knew already that it was lung cancer, but you always have that fear, you always have that kind of worst thing in the back of your head. We then got home and my mum phoned my auntie and told her. My auntie then came into the kitchen where me and my cousin were waiting and said that it was cancer. Now initially this wasn't a shock for me. It was a very big unexpected shock, like to actually hear that it was lung cancer, it was a cancer. I had already gone through this like 4 years ago when I found out my granddad had stomach cancer, so I kind of knew how I had dealt with it then, but actually the shock of dealing with two grandparents, both who are still alive at this point, both fighting this horrible illness. I strongly believe that even, rapists or murderers do not deserve cancer. I really don't believe that. I really believe that cancer is something that nobody should have to go through. I'm just putting out there that, it is this terrible, terrible thing, and it affects a lot of us. It really affects a lot of the UK, a lot of the world, and I think this, it is advertised, but I'm gonna go on to a whole other video. I need to stop. This is what I mean, I'm not good at this because I can't control myself. Once I've said something that gets me riled up, I need to vent but I can't. That's a whole other video. It was a shock and it wasn't a shock. Okay, so after this, my cousin's boyfriend at the time had just gone through something similar, and so she went outside and phoned him. That was, just wanted to talk to him, and that is completely understandable. I'm not going to go into any more details because obviously that's her story, that's how she dealt with it, but I'm just saying at this point my cousin went out to phone her boyfriend and I was sat on the kitchen floor. At this point I didn't cry, I wasn't, I was kind of in a state of shock, and my auntie just came and gave me a hug on the floor, sat with me on the floor, gave me a hug. Tilly just looks at me, I burst into tears, and Tilly ran over and just sat in my lap. That's what, I just burst into tears because, I don't know, just looking at Tilly from across the room, a little dog, I just, something just clicked, Tilly doesn't have an idea of what is going through our heads right now. She has no idea what's just happened. It must be so good to be blissfully unaware. I know she's a dog, she's the cutest thing ever, I love her to bits. I felt in that moment, I wish I didn't know, but I did know, and that's what kind of made me feel a little bit, whoa, okay, this is actually happening. I've actually just been told that another grandparent of mine has cancer, has this terrible, terrible illness. The worst thing for me through all of this is how they advised her not to have treatment. Now, yes, looking back at it, it was the best thing. My nan was so much better off without having any treatment, and this was simply because she was her body was too weak. to handle any kind of like chemotherapy, radiotherapy, any of those medication. My body was not strong enough to handle it. Looking back, I understand that. At the time, I was very, very angry. I found it very hard to wrap my mind around the fact that the people who should have been helping her, who, you know, who could have helped her, who, the only people who actually, you know, needed to give a crap, I felt weren't giving a crap. I felt they weren't doing anything to help my nan who was dying. I felt, you know, just so angry, and I'm getting angry about it now. And this is because I still haven't fully accepted it, but I haven't actually said it out loud before. I haven't said that I was angry. I haven't like showed that actually at that time I was angry, and actually I still am angry. She put up as much as a fight as she could, and you know, I'm proud to have seen that fight. I thought that Nan, like my nan, was going to get treated. I thought she was going to be fine. It would all be fixed. You know, when my granddad was diagnosed, he went on for 4 years. And they only said, oh, it could only be like a year. And that's the thing that I hate. Like, I'm getting so angry right now. I need to stop. I need to calm down. But anyway, okay, so on the 20th of March 2016, my nan went into the hospital probably for the last time. And this was indeed the last time she was in hospital. She was in hospital for probably a week or two, I think, before she was then moved to a hospice. Throughout the time that she was in the hospital, you know, we obviously went in and visited her, sat with her, and the hospital actually allowed us to kind of bend the visiting hours and actually stay with her. Like, my uncle stayed with my nan pretty much all night, every night. I remember my nan saying that she found it helpful having my uncle there to kind of help her know about her medication intake and all of that, because my nan was very, very good at acting down the hours and what she had taken and what, like, you know, if it was a 200, 400, whatever they did, because that helped her to feel in control of what was happening, you know, to her body, what was going in, you know. That helped her feel a little bit more in control, and I could really see that. She then got a space at Havens Hospice in Southend came up, and my nan was debating whether to take it. She was debating whether to be moved, to be, you know, because at this point she couldn't move anymore. She, you know, well, she could still move her arms and, you know, still move, but I mean, she couldn't stand, she was kind of basically bedbound at this point. And I'm saying this because of how difficult she thought it would be to move. That's why she was kind of debating whether to go to the hospice or not. In the end, she did decide to go to the hospice, and it was a very kind of smooth transition from the hospital to the hospice. The nurses at the hospital were very lovely, you know, making sure everything was ready for when she went. All of her medications were ready, so that, you know, nothing was left at the hospital, nothing was left, you know, everything was done. My parents, we decided to stop off at a cafe and just have a drink, leave my nan to settle in. You know, it was quite a big thing for her, moving from a hospital to a hospice, you know. It's quite a big thing to deal with physically and mentally, emotionally, you know, all of that. And then we went to the hospice, saw my nan, got introduced to some of the staff members, and I am just going to say this now, I probably won't forget to, but I want to say it now. The staff at Southend Havens Hospice is literally the best. I love their staff. I didn't really see them for long, but when I did, it was kind of day and night, and it was different people. But every person I met in Havens Hospice was amazing. You know, always asking you if you're okay, always asking if they can do something to make you feel better as well. Like, there was one night in particular where me and my mum we called it the night shift. Members of my family stayed with my nan during the night, so that we knew she wasn't alone at any point. Like, we didn't want her to be alone, and I don't think she wanted to be alone at any point. So me and my mum, we were doing the night shift. We were staying with her during the night, and I actually found it very difficult to sleep. I found myself kind of sitting at the end of her bed watching her breathing, and this was just because, you know, she got quite panicked at one point and her breathing kind of went all funny, and she was struggling to breathe anyway. So I just found myself watching her breathing back. I don't know why I was doing that. I should have gone to sleep, because the next day I was knackered. But I don't know, something automatically just kind of said, you're not going to sleep tonight, you're going to watch your nan breathe. Like, I really cannot explain it. So anyway, yes, getting on to the point. Me and mum were doing the night shift, and I wasn't going to sleep. But my mum was actually lying on the floor. I was in a chair, like a recliner chair. I got all comfy in because mum refused to let me sit on the floor. So my mum was, you know, laying on the floor trying to get some sleep, and this nurse comes in. They came for my nan, like maybe she needed a drink. I can't remember the situation, like for my nan, but they came in for my nan. So me and mum stepped out of the room, gave them a little bit of privacy, and I think I might have gone to get a hot chocolate or something. And then at one point, mum went back in the room, I think when we both were allowed back in, and started to sit on the floor, and then lay on the floor, and then put her head on the floor, and then kind of relax, go to sleep kind of. But this nurse, bless her heart, literally forced my mum to have this what they call a Z bed, and it's basically like a camping bed. It's like, mum was refusing. No, I'm okay, someone else probably needs it, I'm alright, I'll sleep on the floor, I'm comfortable, I'm okay. And this nurse wasn't having any of it. And this is one thing that I loved about her. She was adamant. She was not having it. She was not having the fact that my mum was sleeping on the floor. And so what did my mum do? My mum ended up saying, okay then. I think she got scared of her, to be honest. But anyway, so we ended up with this said bed, which my mum then slept on, and which stayed with us for the rest of Nan's stay and our stay. So that was just one thing I wanted to say, which really describes how great the staff are. Like, I just love the staff, even the kitchen, like, you know, everyone was amazing. They're so amazing, literally. I praise them. Oh, literally. I can't stop saying literally. Do you get me? Right. What even am I doing? I am doing a YouTube video. Right. So yes, anyway, it was then on the 13th of April at 25 minutes past 11 in the morning, my nan peacefully passed away. This was after a few days of having a syringe driver put in and basically being sedated. This was because she was on so many medications that made her sleepy, you know, kind of all combined together. It wasn't harming her, nothing, like, they didn't put her to sleep because that is illegal, but, you know, she was effectively sedated. I just thought, I know it's hard seeing my nan like that, but actually she's comfortable, she's peaceful, she's not in any pain. And for me, I literally, my mind just went calm. Everything just went calm. And that was, I think, the day before she went, that I really felt so calm about everything that was happening. I really felt like everything happened for that specific reason. I felt that everything happened when it did because of a certain reason. I'm still unaware to that reason. I'm sure I will always be unaware to that reason. But I find comfort knowing that there was a reason that happened. If I don't know it, that's okay with me. Okay, so that was the end to my part 2 video. If you haven't seen my part 1, then you can go check that out. Link will be in the description. And keep an eye out for part 3 and other videos to come. Okay, bye!